So one thing you can do once you've created your sock puppets is actually create some accessories for them to give them more of a storyline and actually costume your puppets. So I thought we could just have a little talk about what sort of things you could try. So if, for example, you were doing something based on a Shakespeare story, then you could contemplate making a little medieval ruff, which is the sort of white collar that the Shakespearean Elizabethans wore. You could also make a little Tudor bonnet, and I can show you how to do both of those. So what we need to do for that is we need to cut a little circle with another inner circle cut out of it that's big enough to sit on the head of your sock puppet. Traditionally, these would have often been black caps, but you can do them in any colour you want and in any fabric. So to start off with, I'm just going to glue my flat surface like this, and I'm going to cut and stick. This is just going to be covered in your felt. So you want to cut it like a semicircle like this. So we're going to fold these in and glue them down as we go. What we need to do is we need to cut a piece of fabric that's twice the size of our circle. So we want to literally double the size of our circle. So lay your fabric out. I'm going to cut a nice big circle right the way around. I would recommend using a dinner plate to get a nice round circle. I have a nice big piece of fabric like this that's double the size of my little small one, and I'm going to gather that in using my needle and thread to do a bigger version of this. And what we're going to do then is we're going to sew all the way around the edge. Right, once we have done that, I'm going to glue gun this onto my other piece so that we've got a little hat base like so. So now that my hat top is stuck down to the base of my hat, then it means you can kind of pull out the lid, the crown of the hat a little bit and kind of put it to one side a little bit, so it's almost a bit like a beret. And if you've got anything lying around, like I've got a little feather from sort of like a greeting card, that kind of thing. So it almost looks a bit like a messenger hat, or looks like something that a kind of Romeo might wear, or some sort of flamboyant character of a story. So something like that might be quite good. And then once you've glued that in, then you've got a little hat for your character. What I would probably recommend is putting a little bit of the elastic that we had earlier, and you can thread that through, or glue it in, or stitch it in, whatever suits you. The next thing I'm going to make is a little ruff for the collar of your sock puppet. Again, it's similar in the Shakespearean sort of world. I'm going to fold a piece of regular plain paper, just fold it so that it's in strips like that, and then we're going to concertina vertically so that we end up with a little parcel, a little bit like that. Once you've concertinaed it, open the paper back up, and we're going to cut that into the vertical strips. The reason why we fold them all together rather than individually is because it means that they will then always have the same consistent size of pleat and also the same width of paper. Right, and then what we want to do is we want to glue these end on end. So once we've glued them, we've got a really long strip that we're just going to concertina back up, making sure that all of the pleats are really nice and crisp. And what we're going to do is we're basically going to spread that out onto a little neck piece so that we can use it around the collar of our sock puppet. Measure roughly how we want to do it around the neck, so about like so, because it's going to go around your wrist. We're going to cut a piece off, and we're going to stick this so that the elastic is on the side of it. So we're going to make the concertina small enough again so that it fits onto the elastic. So we've made our little hat, we've made our little ruff. You can fasten it however you want. You can do a little safety pin at the back or tie it with some ribbon. But then, ta-da, you've got a little Shakespearean sock puppet. So I think this chap should be called William. What do we think? I cannot wait to see your stock puppets. I hope you get your creative juices flowing and make some really brilliant characters. Bye!